Hi there, Scraps here from the 64 Arts, among other things. And today I thought rather than just do a regular blog post that I would actually, get over my fear of making videos of myself and make a video to show you one of my more recent projects. Now when I say recent, it's relative. This was a project that I did for my stint as Gauche Alchemist. And on their design team, we do a certain amount of posts per month, and then there's a newsletter that comes out every month on the 1st. And so the project that I want to show you now is actually one I did in December for February 1st newsletter. So that's why I couldn't quite show it to you before, but I am very happy to show it to you now. And it kind of ties into a question I get a lot. For those who maybe are just meeting me, I guess you'd say, for the first time. Maybe you found this on my YouTube channel or you haven't been to my site before. I have a lot of different things going on. I work full time. Everybody, most people do in one capacity or another. But I post to 5 different blogs, something I call the Helper Monkey Network. More about that another time. And I also, I wrote a book last year, and I do comics sometimes, and I do illustration on the side. And anyway, I keep a lot of things going on. And I do this because to focus on just one thing, for me, I've found is a really bad idea in the long run. I can be like hyper-focused blinders on, but I also tend to burn out if I do that. So by having a lot of things going on, I get to indulge in a lot of different interests while also avoiding the dreaded burnout. And if something's not going good with one project, then I can switch gears and go to another project and wait for whatever turmoil I was having with that to resolve itself. So anyway, I have a lot going on, and it's something that comes out pretty early on when I meet new people and we get to talking about, oh, what do you do? What kind, And so the first question I usually get is, do I sleep? Yes, I sleep. Possibly not enough, but that's not usually the fault of my projects. That's usually because I read before I go to bed, and sometimes I'll get really into the book, and so then it'll be like an hour or two later than I intended to turn off the light and go to sleep. But things like that notwithstanding, I do sleep. But the next question I get is, how do I get it all done? And so that's kind of what today's project has to do with. And I think I'm going to start by showing you the project and then explaining why it's so important. Well, the broader scheme is important, not this particular thing. This is my planner. This is half of my world, essentially. I have 2 books that go everywhere with me. One is my planner, and one is my red notebook. Now, two different books, 2 different functions. Inside the red notebook goes everywhere. It goes everything from budgets to random ideas, random thoughts, things I heard, things I read, and of course projects that I want to do later. Inside my planner go my to-do lists, menus for the weeks that I cook. My fiance and I trade off weeks. I'm really lucky in that respect, I know. And big goals and appointments and pretty much everything. Everything that doesn't go into the red book goes into the planner. So anyway, this is my planner, and it did not come looking like this, which is kind of why this is a project. And it came looking kind of unfortunate. It had a very glossy cover, which of course I've covered up so I can't show you, but I'll put, if you're on 64 Arts or click through to the blog post that goes with this, I will put a before shot in there so you guys can see what I was talking about. Most people probably wouldn't mind it, and it was, for instance, this is the planner that I used last year. I mean, very basic, boring, went with everything. It's also a little bit bigger, but there are reasons why I downsized. Anyway, but I decided to go with a little bit more colorful because while I use colored markers in it all of the time. Still, I wanted something a little bit more interesting than black and white. So I got, this is a planner pad. This is not an ad for them, but I really am happy with them. Again, I'll put their link in the blog post too, because I just think they're that kind of cool. Anyway, and they have these colored pages inside. You know, they've got like the photo backgrounds for, and each month is a little bit different, corresponding with whatever season and whatnot. So, you know, a little bit more interesting inside, but the outside was this 4-quarter thing of one for each season, and it was really shiny and plasticky looking, and I just didn't like it. So what I did was I went through my Gauche Alchemy stash, and I used papers from, I know some of the stuff came from the Moshi Moshi kit, and then there's some items on the back that are from the Mixed Media Color kits. And trying to remember which kit this fantastic animal, I think is that leopard print? Leopard spots? Something? Yeah, maybe. I know it's not tiger stripes, but yeah, I think it's leopard print decorative tape, this shiny washi tape. And anyway, so I was able to use that, a lot of Mod Podge to keep it all down, and some pen work and some stickers. Like, you know, my word for the year is grow, so I made sure to put that on the front too to kind of remind me every day I took this out. And I even put some, we'll try and hold it up so you can maybe see, I even put some lumpy stuff in here. I didn't worry about it too much because I knew that once everything was stuck down and decorated the way I wanted, I was going to cover it, and I did, with clear contact paper. And this way I could have the great collaged look I was going for without worrying that these little bumpy bits were going to get snagged in my purse, because this rides around in my purse all day, or when I'm going out. And, you know, they could get ripped, they could cause damage to other things, and I didn't want that. I wanted it to stay nice and pretty, well, pretty relative, you know what I mean. Nice and funky looking, but in the good way, and not all ripped and torn and tattered or anything, you know, before the year was half out. So yes, so both of them are cut, so the covers are both covered in clear contact paper to protect them. And it also makes it just that much more sturdy, even though the covers are pretty sturdy on their own. Anyway, so that's the project that was in the Gauche Alchemy newsletter, and there'll be some more information in the post. But the planner does something else by allowing me to schedule time to work on my projects, whether it's blog posts or craft projects or, you know, knitting, sewing, paper crafts. I don't really do sculpture or anything like that, but, you know, for the woodworking art we're working on, I've been refinishing furniture. You'll get to see that soon. By giving myself permission to do, by writing it down, I give myself permission to do it. And permission's really important. The thing about giving yourself permission is not just say, okay, it's Wednesday at 7 o'clock, I'm gonna create. Because what's going to happen 9 times out of 10 is you're going to get there and you're going to look at your table or your whatever it is, and you're going to go, okay, great, now what do I do? It's like that blank page thing that writers have. Okay, I'm going to write a novel, and guess what? Page 1 is blank, and you've got to fill it with words, and suddenly you're all out of ideas. Which is where the notebook comes in. See? There's a reason why this is a 2-part system. What I find happens, excuse me, is that when we have a good idea, it's like right in the front of our heads. It's just taking up space in our brain, and we're so excited about it. And oh my God, this is an awesome idea. And so we're focused on it. And what we're doing is we're trying not to forget it until we have a chance to actually put it into play. Well, while we're trying not to forget that one idea, 6 to a dozen more ideas are out there floating around, because they kind of multiply like rabbits. Once you get one idea and you're open to it, all these other ideas are going to head your way. It's just, I don't know, it's like cosmic. I don't know. But it's how I've seen it happen, or how I've experienced it with myself. So, but if I'm focused on this one idea, oh my God, I need this idea to happen, I'm not open to all the other ideas that are around. So, by writing the idea down first, when it first occurs to me, I was like, ooh, yeah, that would be cool. Grab a pen, write it in the notebook. What happens is I'm no longer focused on not forgetting the great idea. I've put it down in ink or pen or pencil. I have written it down. I've kept it someplace safe. The idea is still in my head. It's kind of playing around in the stacks or whatever. But it's in the notebook. I won't forget it now. Guess what? The next idea comes along. I'll be ready to see it, to accept it, to think about it. And on it goes. So then, when you give yourself this time to create, be it a blog post, something, an awesome recipe in the kitchen, something physically made, or even just time to daydream, whatever it is, when you have that time, you can go to your idea book and you can pull out an idea and you can work on it. And it really is as simple as that. So the question of how I get things done is I write everything down and then I schedule it. And it sounds kind of boring, it sounds uncreative, but you know, it worked enough for me to be able to write and draw my comic book cookbook. It worked enough for me to be able to keep 5 blogs going every week. It works enough for me to be planning a very DIY heavy wedding this fall. So, you know, if you're ever in a pinch and you decide, well, you know, I want to get more things done, maybe think about writing things down. Maybe think about scheduling time to work on them. All right. So that's it for me and my Gauche Makeover Planner. One more thing though, before we go, because I promised my friends out there who know I have a thing for monkeys, I promised there'd be monkeys. So here's monkeys. Bye!